I think I was the only kid that was 8 years old that ever went to a fort party. We had did a show, we won a contest, and we were celebrated by going to the fort that night. All of my group members were 17 and up. I was 8 years old, 7 years old. I literally was a power pack. I'll never forget one of my group members. May he rest in peace. AC. AC, while we was in the fort and they went in the back and the girls and the music, smoking weed, and he told this girl to give me fellatio. And me being a kid, I was scared and I was, no, and he, you a punk. I will never forget this. I went home, told my mama, but I think I was the only kid that ever went to a fort party. Free Jeff Fort. So the next day was a special day. We was going to my Uncle Kim's house. My Uncle Kim was highly educated. He had a number of degrees. And he had a lot of money. He stayed in Posen, Illinois. And he had a big house. My Uncle Kim had everything. So I couldn't wait till the morning to go see Uncle Kim. So I getting my clothes together that night, setting it up for tomorrow to go see Uncle Kim. I had a stepdad. His name was Earl. Earl was a great stepdad. He had these crazy type of cars where literally the floor was out, where he had the floor covered with some carpet, but if you move the carpet, you can see the ground while we ride. But it's no limit to what Earl took us everywhere. The drive-in, we used to hide in the trunk. Then we get in the drive-in, we get out. We had some good times. This time we was taking a trip to see Uncle Kim in Posen, Illinois. We was riding. It take a while to get from the projects to Posen, Illinois. So Earl cars wasn't that good. His car broke down in Posen, Illinois. And anybody know back then, Posen was full of racist people. The whole town was white. My Uncle Kim, he probably was the only black family in the whole town. Earl car stop is me in the car, my mom, my oldest sister LaShawn, and my grandmother, Maria.
Back in the time, he was dick in a tank. Back in the time, he was dick in a tank.
How can I forget my brother, Etwan? I love you, bro. My brother Etwan in the car. So Earl decided to go out, get out the car to go get some help. And he took my brother Etwan with him. So that left me, my sister LaShawn, and my grandmother, and my mom. People start coming on their porches. Get out of here, nigger. We're gonna set your car on fire. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I remember this like yesterday. Some guys riding on bikes. Some white guys riding on bikes. Rolled on the side of the car and they started throwing bricks saying they're gonna set the car on fire. All I remember at 8 years old is having a panic attack saying, let me out of the car. I did not want to get set on fire. So my sister, she grabbed me, my grandma, one of them grabbed me and told me, calm down. So we let them ride off. All of a sudden, like 15, 20 minutes go past. We like, man, where they at? Like, where did that Twan and Earl go? They went to go get help. Maybe they went to call my uncle. The guys coming back on the bikes, this time they like 10 deep. The other time when they first came, they was 3 deep. This time they like 10 deep and they coming. They started throwing bricks at the car. Get out of here, nigga. Oh, trying to flip the car over. Oh my God, this was just one of the scariest times of my life. All I can remember was them stop shaking the car, stop throwing bricks, everything just stopped. And I heard my uncles and Earl at Twan, get away from the car, and they running down there. And they ran, literally. They ran from my uncle and them. I was never so happy to see my uncle Ira, my brother Antoine, Earl, and a couple of more of the family members. They came to save us in Posen, Illinois. We lay up there. The car wouldn't work. We had to walk from where the car at to my uncle's house. You would not believe where my uncle lived at from where the car stopped. My uncle lived 3 blocks away from where the car stopped at. With all of that racism and all of that hate, 3 blocks away from where my uncle's house was. And I remember every single step that we took to my uncle's house. Posen, Illinois, I will never forget you. An 8-year-old kid being threatened like that, being terrorized like that. I went to my uncle's house. My uncle had a big, beautiful house. My uncle had a fish tank. I can never forget this fish tank. He had sharks in there. He had all type of fishes in this fish tank. And me as an 8-year-old kid, I just stood there looking like. Coming from the Darrell homes, the projects, looking at this fish tank in this big old house, I thought my uncle was a superstar. He had like 10 rooms, 3-4 bathrooms. Ah man, my uncle had the latest car that was out during the time. He had that car. We had a barbecue. All of the family came over. My grandmama was there. My grandfather was there. My cousins, my aunties, everybody in the whole Streets and Thomas family was there. And we had a good time. Earl never got his car back. Earl never got a car back. We had to lap up and ride back home to Chicago with different family members that came out to visit that day. And I remember coming back to the projects, getting dropped off by the family members and getting out of the car. Smelling the pissy hallways, and the elevators was broke that day. I'll never forget. My mom, she had a bad heart since I can remember. My mom had 2 heart attacks. We stayed on the 14th floor. It took my mama forever to get up to the 14th floor. She was out of breath. So not only did we almost get killed by white people, my mama had to walk up 14 flights of stairs of pissy hallways. Stuck the key in the door. Opened the door. Home. We didn't have much, but I was so grateful. Man, when my mom cooked dressing, because dressing is my favorite meal, and here's why. When I was younger, my mom used to cook dressing, And she used to pick me up and set me on the counter and cut me a slice of that cornbread before she make the dressing and slide some butter in between, and we have our conversations. It was hard to get one-on-one time with Mom because there was so many of us. But that day, I was sad when I got home because I was so poor, but after walking up 14 flights of stairs, when I got home, I was just so happy just to lay in my bed. And I was grateful to have this apartment in the Darrell Homes, 1401. And I remember going to sleep that night, and my brother Nephis always played his music loud. I'm talking about loud. My mom bought Nephis big stereos. And Nephis that night, he played his music so loud, my mama came in there and she broke his stereo. I didn't blame her for breaking his stereo because after walking up 14 flights of stairs, you deserve some peace and quiet. But anybody that knew my brother Nephis, he didn't care about your peace and quiet. I miss my brother. Posen, Illinois, you taught me a valuable lesson. Family is everything.